Hello, I'm Dr Octavia Cox and welcome to the Jane Austen Advent Calendar, Day 6. Anyone who has ever read any of Jane Austen's novels knows just how funny they are. Humour is in the very bones of Austen's writing style, and her sense of humour is one of the things that those who knew her in life remembered her for. So in the family's Memoir of Jane Austen, which is dated 1870, her nephew, James Edward Austen Leigh, recalls the family trait for wittiness, wondering about the shared ancestry that produced such a sharp sense of humour. So James Edward describes Theophilus Leigh, who was the Master of Balliol College, Oxford, and was Mrs Austen's uncle. So Mrs Austen had been Cassandra Leigh. She was from the Leigh family. So Theophilus Leigh, Master of Balliol, James Edward wrote about him. His fame for witty and agreeable conversation extended beyond the bounds of the university. Mrs Hester Thrale, in a letter to Dr Johnson, that is Samuel Johnson, who was one of Jane Austen's own favourite writers, that she wrote to Dr Johnson thus: "Are you acquainted with Dr Leigh, the Master of Balliol College? And are you not delighted with his gaiety of manners and youthful vivacity, now that he is 86 years of age?" Some of his sayings, of course, survive in family tradition. Humour remained in him so strongly to the last that, only 3 days before he expired, being told that an old acquaintance was lately married, having recovered from a long illness by eating eggs, and that the wits said that he had been egged on to matrimony, he immediately trumped the joke, saying, "Then may the yoke sit easy on him." I do not know from what common ancestor the Master of Balliol and his great niece Jane Austen, with some others of the family, may have derived the keen sense of humour which they certainly possessed. And I think we can see some of this wittiness, some of this playfulness, some of this sharpness, some of this quickness, absolutely in Jane Austen's writing. Charlotte Maria Middleton, who was a teenager living at the Great House in Chawton when Jane Austen lived in Chawton, she strongly recalls this part of Austen's character. She writes much later, "Her keen sense of humour I quite remember. It oozed out, very much in Mr Bennet's style." Thank you very much indeed for watching.